Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Derek Chisora isn't going to be lowballed into a fight with Dillian Whyte for December 22nd. That much is clear. He's completely flipped the script on Eddie Hearn signing a management deal with rival promoter David Haye, who once had a bitter rivalry with Chisora and ultimately knocked him out when they fought. But they've managed to put their differences aside and they've teamed up. So there's several things going on here bringing Haye into the fold. I'm going to touch on them in this brief instant reaction video. First off, this is a signal that negotiations for the Dillian Whyte fight, they haven't exactly been going Chisora's way. You might remember that less than a week ago there was talk about a deal being done by Friday or potentially the end of the weekend. Although I had my suspicions, they've been talking for quite some time. Publicly said they hadn't really been negotiating, but I don't believe that at all. And Eddie Hearn had set a deadline of sorts for the end of the weekend. He'd thrown that out publicly, and he said he wanted to announce the fight this week. But it's now the middle of this week, and there's no fight. But what we do have is a very public, and that's important, it's key here, a very public signing of Derek Chisora to David Haye. And Haye, of course, is one of the most high-profile figures in British boxing, a very polarising figure, and he's turned his hand to being a manager and promoter at the back end of his career, and that's his full-time job now. So, for me, this is a clear tactic, this very public signing to raise Chisora's stock with the public. Get his name out there. He's already been on Sky Sports. It's on all over the internet, different mainstream media and further afield. They want to get eyes on the situation, this negotiation between Chisora and Dillian Whyte. It's been clear to me that in the last week or so, since Luis Ortiz's recent challenge to Dillian Whyte to fight him on December 22nd in the UK, Ortiz said, "I'll come to you," that has actually weakened Chisora's negotiating position. Very clearly it has. He's gone from being, a lock for that fight to potentially there's other options like Luis Ortiz and Dominic Breazeale. So Matchroom has been able to basically sort of say to him, look, there are these other options. This is what they've been saying publicly. So the pressure goes on Chisora to negotiate to a price that Matchroom wants, otherwise he misses out. And Chisora, he doesn't want to lose this fight because this is a very big fight. But nor does he want to swallow his knob here at the deal and be forced to take something much less than he thought he'd originally get. After all, this is going to be one of the biggest money fights of his career. He'll want to squeeze every cent out of it. So bringing in Haye, getting a wave of media attention and people talking about this fight, potential fight, and talking about the signing, obviously, that's going to bump his value back up. And that's what he wants, that's what he needs. He needs to claw back a little bit of the power in this negotiation. So this is very much about protecting his position. I'm seeing some initial reaction online saying that David Haye, Chisora signing with him, decreases the chances of this fight getting made. I don't agree there. Eddie Hearn has been very clear in saying that this fight is the one that they want to make. This is the fight they are going to make. And he's also been making up all sorts of other crazy stuff that this is the one that the fans want to see the most, which, I clearly don't agree with. I think Ortiz is the better fight. I think it's the one fans want to see, not just the casual fans who Eddie Hearn is going to tell them, this is what we're going to give you, and then sell the shit out of it to them. So this is the option Matchroom is pursuing, and this is the one they will exhaust, because after all, it's widely acknowledged that Whyte Chisora 2 is where the most money can be made. Rather than give the fans the Ortiz fight, Hearn will pursue every last dollar in the Whyte Chisora fight until the end of the earth. Having Haye come on board and the attention that brings with it, it just means that it may take a little longer to reach a split that everyone can live with. But it was clear that Luis Ortiz, him being in the frame, that had weakened Chisora's position. So this is a counter move to that. Get him back in the spotlight. Get people talking about him, not Whyte and Ortiz. So yes, it's a blatant publicity stunt to ensure Chisora can get his share of the millions, his share of the pie that's going to be on offer to the fighters. And Haye's actually already renamed Del Boy to War Chisora. I'm not really sure I see that one catching on. But in terms of the signing, Haye told Sky Sports, "Do I want this task? No disrespect to Derek, but he's not the easiest to work with. I am positive he can get results. He hasn't fulfilled his potential yet. Imagine if he goes into a fight in prime condition. Imagine if he stands on the scales and you see someone that you've never seen before. He needs his food cooked, to rest during the day, to be in a real camp. Give it 9 or 10 weeks and you will see something special. Let's do it." Chisora said, "We had lunch, we spoke. He played hard to get. He said, 'Let me think about it,' but he was already hooked. Every time I have lost, I've rebuilt myself. I saw how David did it for himself, and I wanted to do it myself. Now it's about getting it right. There's nothing else. I want the rematch. We are going to make it happen for the fans." And Haye says that Derek can shock the world once again, and will be knocking on the door for a world title shot. Can you imagine Derek knocking Dillian out? The shockwaves that would send around the world. No longer would he be Del Boy Chisora, he would be War Chisora. I truly believe that Derek on his day, with the relentless pressure, tremendous fitness, a solid game plan from Don Charles, can stop Whyte, and stop him conclusively. And in a social media post, Haye has also said, "Boxing is a sport where, inside the ropes, beef can be squashed and replaced with the type of respect forged between two warriors in the heat of battle. Look forward to the challenge ahead." Okay, so that is my instant reaction to the signing. David Haye is now managing Derek Chisora's career. What do you make of it? What do you make of this obvious publicity stunt? Designed, in my view, to generate some headlines, attention, try to wrest a bit of the control in the negotiation back towards Chisora's side. Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.